Clock by my ca- clock here. Are we recording? Great. So hello everybody. My name is Seth Engelborg. I am the Vice Chair of the Conservation Commission. I'll be filling in for our Chair Ian Golding, who is not going to be able to be present today. And I will start by reading our script for remotely conducted meetings. The public participation guidelines are as follows. We're using Zoom for this meeting, which allows for the public to participate in the meeting as an attendee. The chair can request that members of the public provide their names for purposes of keeping accurate minutes of the meeting. Attendees must register to participate. The registration link is unique to the meeting. The registration link can be found in the description of Nantucket Government TV YouTube live feed for the meeting. Attendees will join in listening mode. They can click the raise hand button if they wish to speak. The chair will call on those who have raised their hands in the order they were raised. All questions should be directed through the chair. As a preliminary matter, this is Seth Engelborg, Vice Chair, Acting Chair in this meeting. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. We'll start with Mark Beal,
Yes.
Tim Brain,
Here.
Michael Mizzarelli,
Here.
Joe Plandowski,
Here.
and Linda Williams.
Here.
And Ian Golding is not present today. We will go on to staff. When I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Will Delurba
Affirmative.
and finally, anticipated speakers on the agenda, please respond in the affirmative. We have Mark Ritz,
He's here. He just unmuted.
Mark, can you hear us? All right, we'll circle back to him. Paul Santos,
Here.
Art Gasparo,
Here.
Brian Madden,
Here.
and if there's any other anticipated speakers, we will get them when they show up. So good evening. This open meeting of the Nantucket Conservation Commission is being conducted remotely pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. For this meeting, the Nantucket Conservation Commission is convening via video conference via the Zoom app as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that all attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials that have been provided to the members of this body are available on the town's website, unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I know otherwise. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. We're a little bit more casual than that. If you have a comment, please raise your hand. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly in a way that helps generate accurate meeting minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in a conversation with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. After members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment to those members of the public that have joined the meeting via Zoom. Members of the public who wish to speak must state their names and be acknowledged by and speak through the chair. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. That brings us to our agenda, and we will begin our agenda with public comment for items not being heard today. Is there any public comment? Yes, Stephen Cohen. Go ahead.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to confirm that the Baxter Road project is not going to be heard today, is only going to be set for the agenda for next week. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And then a question to Jeff through you, if it's appropriate, on just if there's any update on the peer reviewer or the council.
I will ask if Will has any update on that, or if not, we can get an update from Jeff. Will?
Or either, sir. Thank
Hey,
you.
guys. Through you, Seth. Quick update. We still have our one reviewer, and we sent a reminder out today to one other option. So we do have one quote from a reviewer. I'm hoping to see if we can get another response, but if not, we have one quote. And then we have one response from a legal counsel option, and they are going to be getting us a quote by end of business tomorrow.
Okay. Sounds like good progress. Thank you.
Do we have any other public comment? Seeing as none, we will transition to the next item on our agenda, which is the public hearing discussion of and potential adoption of the Nantucket Wetlands Regulation Update. Just before we get too in-depth into this, it would be my personal preference that all members of this commission, all 7 members of this commission, were here before we made any substantive progress on that regulatory update. I personally think that a vote should be done by all members. I would be happy to entertain, some discussion if it is warranted, but I think we should preclude a vote until that time. But if any members have any comments to that effect, please go ahead. Yes, Michael?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I support that. So without Ian here, I'm willing to defer till the next meeting.
Linda?
I feel the same way. Also, there's still some people that are now on vacation because their kids are out of school or any number of reasons why people couldn't come.
Thank you. That being said, I am aware that in the attendees, we have a list of people who are interested in this topic. So when we update or when we continue this to a date certain, if you have any specific comments and you want to get in touch with the Natural Resources Department staff, please do. Or you can attend that meeting that we are continuing to. So that being said, we do need to do we need to continue this to a date certain, Will?
I think it'd be best if we do, and we can just, if everybody's comfortable with it, we could pencil it into the 21st and change if need be.
Is there any discussion or a motion to that effect? Joe? Joe, you're on mute.
I was going to make a comment relative to regulations. By sheer chance, I was looking up CES. Now, CES is a common term, coastal engineering structure. It's not in the definition, CES. It happens to, if you really do some looking in there, you'll find it under engineering, or you'll find it under structures, but you won't find it under CES, coastal engineering structures. And I don't know where we are in getting this thing done, but if there's an opportunity to make that correction, that would help.
Thank you, Joe. I do know it's listed under our current regulations as structure, coastal engineering. But if we need some clarification on that, I would think that would be a minor edit that wouldn't, cause any concern. So staff, you can look into that. Any other comments or questions from members? Do we have a motion to continue the discussion on the Nantucket Wetlands regulations till March 21st? Mark made that motion, seconded by Joe, by roll call vote. Mark Beal,
Aye.
Tim Brain,
Aye.
Mike Mizzarelli,
Aye.
Joe Plandowski,
Aye.
Linda Williams,
Aye.
And Seth Engelborg, aye. And that will move us into public hearing notices of intent. And well, before we get there, we should discuss our continuances for tonight. So under notice of intent, we have Manila at 5 Gingy Lane, SE 48 37 35 continued until March 21st. We have Third Point Holdings LLC at 39 Quays Road, SE 48 37 38 continued until March 21st. We have 135 Walwinet Road, Vandenborn, SE 48 37 43 continued until March 21st. We have Slosick, Tuckernuck Island, continued until March 21st. And we have Sconset Beach Preservation Fund, Town of Nantucket, SE 48 37 36 continued until March 14th. Staff, is there any other continuances that I'm missing?
One more, this might have been my bad. 6 Wesco Place is also continued to 3/21.
Thank you. So we have 6 Wesco Place continued till March 21st. So that will open our hearing under notice of intents at Nantucket Islands Land Bank, 204. I'm not going to read that whole thing. It's SC 48 37 42, and this is represented by Art Gasparo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the second public hearing following up on the application to improve pedestrian access around Maxey's Pond. And we had continued from the last hearing to allow time for response from Natural Heritage, which we had received, and I believe the project can move forward. I don't believe there were any outstanding questions or concerns, but we'd be more than happy to try to address them should there be any.
Thank you, Art. Is there any questions or concerns from commissioners? Seeing none, is there any questions or
Nope.
concerns from members of the public? Seeing none of that, do we have a motion to close? All right, Will, do we have everything we need to close?
Yes, sir, we do.
Do we have a motion to close? Mike made the motion, Joe made the second. By roll call vote, Mark Beal,
Aye.
Tim Brain,
Aye.
Mike Miserelli,
Aye.
Joe Plandowski,
Aye.
Linda Williams,
Aye.
and Seth Engelborg, aye.
Thank you.
Thank you as well. And that will bring us to Nantucket Yacht Club at 1 South Beach Street, SE 48 37 45, represented by Leo Asadorian. Leo, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Leo Asadorian for Blackwell and Associates and the client, Nantucket Yacht Club. I almost said Great Harbor Yacht Club. That was the last NOI I did. What you have is an application in front of you to upgrade the existing deck. And what's happening is they're going to be adding a second story to the deck and a roof over the area as well. There'll be no lateral extent towards the harbor. And the resource area being the land subject to coastal storm flowage. We're more than 100 feet from the coastal bank, which is the solid bulkhead and land under the ocean and land containing shellfish, which would be Nantucket Harbor. Project plans from the architect were included in the NOI along with some various perspectives of what's going on in there. I do want to add, and we do have a HDC approval and a certificate of compliance filed with the notices.
Leo, excuse me for a moment. Seth, I need to abstain from this. I'm a member of that club and I'm involved in the administration, so I'm going to abstain. Sorry.
I would
You-
respectfully
you're
request that you
recusing.
recuse, please. Please recuse.
I recuse.
Okay, we'll make a note that Mark Beal is recused from this application. Sorry, Leo, go ahead.
Not a problem. I should say right now that there's an existing downspout drainage system that the club has. And it's either directed into the drainage system that flows into a settling tank and two sand trap filters as well before it goes into the harbor. So there seems to be quite a bit of a redundancy in the way the system was installed about back, I believe, about 2005, 2006. And the only changes that we're making is any of the overland flows where some of the downspouts flow onto the lawn or onto the brick walks. We're going to be picking that up and running it into that catch basin that you see just north of the clubhouse. And then there's a 12-inch pipe that runs through a series of pipes and drain manhole into a settling tank and then into a drainage system before it outlets into the harbor. It's pretty straightforward. There's, like I say, no lateral extent towards the harbor itself. It's just an upgrade of the existing deck system that's out there right now. And that's pretty much it. If the commissioners have any questions, I'd be certainly happy to answer them at this point.
Thank you, Leo. Do the commissioners have any questions or comments related to the application? Seeing none, do members of the public have any questions or comments related to this application? Also seeing none, staff, do we have everything we need to close on this?
Yes, we do, Seth.
Leo, would you like to close?
Yes, I would. Thank you.
Do we have a motion to close? I'll give Mike the motion and Joe the second. Tim Brain,
Are we
by
voting?
roll call vote. Tim Brain,
Oh, okay. Sorry. Aye.
Mike Mazzarelli,
Aye.
Joe Plandowski,
Aye.
Linda Williams,
Aye.
Seth Engelborg, aye, and Mark Beal is recused. That passes 5 in favor and 1 recused. And that will bring us to our next notice of
you.
intent. Thank you as well.
Yeah, thank you.
That will bring us to our next notice of intent, which is 2020 Flax Family Irrevocable Trust at 12 Moors End Lane, SC 48 3746, represented by Brian Madden.
Thank you very much. Brian Madden from LEC, representing the applicant. The proposed project involves a proposed pool with a small patio area. The pool has an auto cover, so no fencing is being proposed here. There's an off-site vegetated wetland to the east. All work is upgradient of the 50-foot buffer zone, so the pool's not within the 50-foot. The pool equipment is going to be installed up by the shed well outside the 100-foot buffer zone. And the pool is elevated well above the high groundwater associated with the vegetated wetland, which is down around elevation 20. And the proposed pool is up around elevation above 30, 39 as shown on the plan. So there's a pretty good elevation break between that. So no waivers proposed, relatively straightforward, and I'll turn it over to questions.
Thank you, Brian. Do members have any questions or comments related to the application? Do members of the public have any questions or comments related to this application? Seeing none of any of that, staff, do we have everything we need to close this application?
Indeed, we do.
Do we have a motion to close? Joe made the motion, Mark made the second. By roll call vote, please. Mark Beal,
Aye.
Tim Brain,
Aye.
Mike Mazzarelli,
Aye.
Joe Plandowski,
Aye.
Linda Williams,
Aye.
and Seth Engelborg, aye. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
And that will bring us to our next notice of intent, which is Pocomo Point Realty Trust at 90 Pocomo Road, represented by Art Gasparo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm before you tonight with a notice of intent to extend a sand drift fence along the toe of a coastal bank in Pocomo at number 90. Most of you are familiar with this as the old Gamble House. And there's an existing sand drift fence, and they would like to extend that approximately 250 feet, excuse me, to the north. This would be your typical or what I think we're all used to in terms of panelized, constructed off-site, and then screwed to the installed posts along the toe of the bank. And then we're proposing throughout the bank on the property, there are some of the areas are vegetated and slumped, and there are some bare areas. So they would like to be able to, with permission, in bare areas, add American beach grass plant plugs. The hope is that this fencing will help to do two things. One is to deter activity from users of the beach as well as animals onto the to the toe of the bank and causing undue or unnecessary, natural, if you would, additional erosion of that bank or destabilization. And then to promote the establishment of a foredune naturally occurring, if you would, along the toe of that bank through the deposition of windblown sand hitting the pickets and falling into place as typically happens. And we believe that that would be a benefit, that sand would then be naturally available for erosion and contribution to the beach as particular tides may reach it during certain storm events or surges. So it's rather natural system. The gaps in the pickets would be 50% of the area. So basically, you'd have a picket, an equivalent gap, a picket, equivalent gap, and therefore not have really any interference with the free movement of water there. And with that, again, it's not really atypical from any of the other sand drift approvals that there's no rolls or anything of that sort associated with this. We believe it's a preferred alternative to regular snow fencing. And that the wave climate in this area is one that the other fences along there, are not typically damaged, and can sort of withstand those forces and hopefully achieve the objective of protecting the bank and promoting the establishment of the foredune. With that, I'd be happy to take questions.
Thank you, Art. Do any members have questions or comments? Yes, Mark.
Thank you, Seth. Art, my question is, this is a very popular family picnic spot from the point northward, and I hope you'll be sensitive to keeping the snow fence as near to the bank as you possibly can, the toe of the bank as near as you can, because there's a lot of people there on a good summer day that are picnicking and enjoying it with children and small boats, etc.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, all right, you can respond.
Through you. So if you may note on the plan, it's actually set further back than the fence that exists. The intention is exactly that, not to block the beach at all. The back row of posts would, the way these tend to go in well is to be, right at the toe of the bank, as far back as we can get it. So it's a long yes to your question.
Yes, Mark.
I appreciate, Art, that concern of you and the owner. Thank you.
Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a question for Art on the scheduling. Is it something that happens this spring, or is it something that'll go to the fall?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I don't know the scheduling. It's obviously would be a 3-year permit. I'm not sure what the intent, what would be for how they could get someone lined up. I just don't know. It hasn't
Got
been-
it. Makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? I do have a question. So you mentioned that there's no like core roles or anything associated with this current project, but has that bank been subject to that type of protection in the past, or is this a natural bank in this location?
In this location, it's a natural bank.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from commission members? Do we have any questions or comments from members of the public? Does not seem like it. Will, do we have everything we need to close here?
Just real quick, Art, we weren't waiting on NHESP for this, were we? I know your DEP number just came today.
No, we were not.
No, okay. I just wanted to double check. I didn't have it marked down, but yeah, we have everything.
We have the file number because I saw it
Yes.
wasn't on the. Okay, thank you. Art, would you like to close?
Yes, please.
Do we have a motion to close? Mike will take the motion. Joe will make the second. By roll call vote, Mark Beal,
Aye.
Tim Brain,
Aye.
Mike Miserelli,
Aye.
Joe Plandowski,
Aye.
Linda Williams,
Aye.
and Seth Engelberg. Aye. Thank you, Art.
Thank you.
And that will move us into amended orders of conditions. We're starting with 8 High Brush Path LLC at 8 High Brush Path, SC 483702. They have requested for this application to be withdrawn. So we simply need to make a motion to accept the withdrawal. But Brian, I see you on if you have anything to add.
Just to withdraw without prejudice.
Okay, please, somebody make a withdrawal without prejudice. Joe makes a motion. Is there a second? Mark, thank you. By roll call vote, Mark Beal,
Aye.
Tim Brain,
Aye.
Mike Miserelli,
Aye.
Joe Plandowski,
Aye.
Linda Williams,
Aye.
and Seth Engelberg, aye. Thank you, Brian.
Thanks.
And that will move us into Nantucket Islands Land Bank, 321 Pulpus Road, SE 483656, represented by Rachel Freeman. How are you today?
Good, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm Rachel Freeman. I'm representing the Nantucket Land Bank tonight on our request for amended order of conditions for 321 Pulpus Road. We have been working to restore this property for some time now. There was initially a house and multiple buildings on the site. It's approximately 3 acres. And at least half the site is bordering vegetated wetland. And there is a man-made ditch system and pond associated as well with the site, which we're trying to determine the hydrology and seasonal wetness or not at this time. In the meantime, what we would propose is doing wetland plantings in this pond. Basically, we're kind of doing the finishing touches on our restoration plan at this time. And we've removed most of the man-made structures around the pond itself. There were a series of boards and a water feature and quite a bit of stonework, I'll say, that has been removed. And what's left now is a slightly more naturalized pond setting. Again, that we're trying to determine how wet it's going to be and how dry it's going to be, but we'd like to revegetate this area with some proposed wetland plantings. The site itself has actually not regrown any sort of plants at this time. And so we're thinking to give it a little bit of a jump start. And we've proposed a list of plants that was put in the amended order. of conditions, which include, let me just find that. Swamp loosestrife or Decadon verticillatus, pickerel weed, Pontidaria cordata, leatherleaf, blue iris, swamp milkweed, New York aster, cinnamon fern, sallow sedge, soft rush, and sheep laurel. It's a mix of things that have different water tolerances, and we start by treading lightly and seeing what is successful over time and what is not. In addition to the wetland restoration planting plan, we're looking to replace 2 existing boardwalks with, something very similar. They're just in various states of disrepair, and to put in a parking area, which is shown in the attached plan. It's outside of the 25-foot buffer, and basically it will provide parking for, around 3 cars, maybe 4, and a turnaround. And it's actually in an existing cleared area that's grass at this point. We're not looking to really formalize this in any way with any sort of hardener or anything, and just make it sort of a light on the landscape parking area where it's defined enough so that people understand if they want to drive in and spend time on this property that they can park here. As far as because of the way that these changes are structured, there's no waivers required for this request. And I am happy to answer any questions that any of the commissioners may have.
Commissioners, questions or comments? I have one question. Rachel, the parking area, it may not be on or in the 25-foot buffer, but it looks like it's very close to the edge. So I was wondering if you'd be amenable to having a split rail fence there to prevent cars from driving into that 25-foot buffer.
Certainly, we certainly can. It's kind of defined by shrubbery, but yeah, we could certainly put a split rail fence there. It's the 25-foot buffer is off of a ditch, which is basically within that shrub area. But completely, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anything else from commissioners? Seeing none, do we have any questions or comments from members of the public? Also seeing none, Will, do we have everything we need to close this application?
Yes, sir.
Rachel, would you like to close?
Yes, please.
So since this is an amended order of conditions, do we have a motion to close and issue the amended order? Joe, thank you for your motion. Mike, the second by roll call vote. Mark Beal,
Aye.
Tim Brain,
Aye.
Mike Mizzarelli,
Aye.
Joe Plandowski,
Aye.
Linda Williams,
Aye.
and Seth Engelberg, aye. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And that will bring us into our public meeting. We have no request for determination of applicability today, so we'll move on to minor modifications. We'll be starting with Easton Street LLC at 55 Easton Street, SE 483590, represented by Brian Madden.
Thank you very much. The minor mod involves the following. There was a approved shed at the front of the property that is now being replaced by an at-grade dry-laid patio with a pergola cover over portions of it. There's a proposed dry-laid stone patio at grade on the west side of the house, along with an outdoor shower. Elevated AC units on wooden platforms on the northeast corner of the dwelling. All that work is outside the 50-foot buffer zone to an off-site vegetated wetland. This is all within flood zone as well. And the mitigation revegetation area within the backyard area has been significantly expanded to basically consume the entire backyard area, and that's being proposed to be revegetated with sweet pepper bush, high bush blueberry, and or arrowwood. So that summarizes the updates. Be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Brian. Do we have any questions or comments from members of the commission? Seeing none, do we have a motion to issue the minor modification? Joe, I think you made the motion, and Tim will give you the second by roll call vote. Mark Beal,
Aye.
Tim Brain,
Aye.
Mike Mazzarelli,
Aye.
Joe Plandowski,
Aye.
Linda Williams,
Aye.
and Seth Engelberg, aye. Thank you. And that will move us into Nantucket Wales End 2 LLC at 43 and 45 Squam Road, SE 48 3607, also represented by Brian Madden.
Thank you very much. Brian Madden from LEC Environmental Consultants. The proposed minor modifications are relatively minor, or very, very minor in nature. It's just some updates to the driveway layout that is outside the 50-foot buffer zone. This plan is very busy, and there's been multiple amendments or updates, minor modifications over time, but basically the loop driveway in the middle just got slightly configured down to the parking court area. And again, that's all outside the 50-foot buffer zone to vegetated wetlands, all within the previously approved limit of work. So relatively straightforward.
Thank you, Brian. Do we have any questions or comments from members of the commission? Seeing none, do we have a motion to issue the minor modification? Joe, thank you. Tim, thank you for the second. By roll call vote, Mark Beal,
Aye.
Tim Brain,
Aye.
Mike Mazzarelli,
Aye.
Joe Plandowski,
Aye.
Linda Williams.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to recuse on this after the fact. I didn't realize that my client is next to it, but he's battling the one next to him on the other side. So I think it's better that I recuse from this.
That is fine.
There's no issue with this, but can't do it.
That's fine. Seth Engelborg votes aye with Linda Williams recused. And that is passed. Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, that will move us into that will move us into certificates of compliance. We'll be starting with Schreiberg at 60 Westchester Street, SE 48 35 36, represented by Don Bracken. Is Don here?
No.
Is somebody taking this for him?
Yeah, I'm covering for it.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Go ahead.
Thanks, no problem. So this was for a proposed secondary structure and an addition shed type structure. Here we go. Yeah, so it was for the secondary structure and the shed. There was an approved patio on the south side of the secondary structure that was ultimately abandoned. It's not going to be constructed. Everything was completed in substantial compliance. There was a condition relative to the invasive species management component if herbicides were being utilized, but I did confirm with the property owners that basically just south of the secondary structures, there was an extension of knotweed that was removed and brought to the Nantucket solid waste digester. And the area is just being reseeded as lawn. The applicants don't have any intent to continue on or perform any herbicide management activity. They're just gonna retain it as lawn and mow it. But that, otherwise it's scaled back based on what was approved, but in substantial compliance.
Thank you, Brian. Do members of the commission have any questions or comments? If not, Will, do we have any ongoing conditions for this certificate of compliance?
There are no ongoing conditions due to the non-usage of herbicide, and that's all going to be seeded in the spring. I spoke with Brian earlier.
Thank you. With that being said, do we have a motion to issue the certificate of compliance? Mike, thank you. Joe, thank you for your second. By roll call vote. Mark Beal,
Aye.
Tim Brain,
Aye.
Mike Mizzarelli,
Aye.
Joe Plandowski,
Aye.
Linda Williams,
Aye.
and Seth Engelberg, aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
That will move us into our next certificate of compliance, which is Tuckett LLC at 4 Woodbine Street, SE 483204. Brian, are you taking this too or no? Or is Will taking this one?
If he's not, I can do it.
I'm not up to speed on this one, so I'll
Okay.
defer to Will.
Will, please go ahead.
No problem. Let me bring it up on screen. But this was for the upgrade of an existing septic system, installation of a concrete pad, grading landscaping utilities. We were within the buffer zone to coastal bank and coastal dune. Everything was completed to the plan. And I recommend issuing, there was one condition that doesn't have to be ongoing, but there was a specific condition on the permit that we needed this septic permit. I think they hadn't secured it yet when they got approval from us, but as you can see, they have acquired that septic permit, so there are no ongoing conditions, and I recommend issuing.
Thank you, Will. Do we have a motion to issue the certificate of compliance? Thank you, Mark, for your motion. Joe with the second. By roll call vote. Mark Beal,
Aye.
Tim Brain,
Aye.
Mike Mizzarelli,
Aye.
Joe Plandowski,
Aye.
Linda Williams,
Aye.
and Seth Engelberg, aye. And that will move us into the next certificate of compliance, which is Jones at 6 East Lincoln Ave, SE 483384, represented by Jeff Blackwell.
Good evening. You may recall that this property and this permit was before you at the last meeting to amend or minor modification for a patio. That minor modification was issued, and I'm back for the certificate of compliance. And the project was completed in conformance with the order of condition. I'll answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Jeff. Any questions or comments from members of the commission? If not, are there any ongoing conditions associated with the certificate?
No, sir, no ongoing conditions, and the site was in compliance.
Thank you. With that being said, do we have a motion to issue the certificate of compliance? Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Joe, for the second. By roll call vote, Mark Beal,
Aye.
Tim Brain,
Aye.
Mike Mizzarelli,
Aye.
Joe Plandowski,
Aye.
Linda Williams,
Aye. We're a pretty quiet bunch tonight.
and Seth Engelberg, aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff. And that will move us into our next certificate. We have 2 certificates of compliance for 11 Crooked Lane LLC at 10 Hickory Meadow Lane. Those are SE 482682 and SE 483311. Will, is it okay to take these together or should we take them separately?
I think we can take them together. I can explain the differences, and I see Mike's hand up. I think Mike's recused.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'm going to recuse from this. I've worked on this property occasionally.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, in that case, with Mike recused, let's take these two together. Will, are you leading this discussion?
Sure thing. So the first one, it's really easy if I read the words that are on the page. So the first one was the order of conditions for the construction of a single-family dwelling, garage, pool, landscaping, and utilities within the buffer zone of bordering vegetated wetland. So the first permit was for that. Then there was a minor mod that was issued 2 years later for relocation of said swimming pool and some grading between the 100-foot buffer and the 50-foot buffer. So there were a couple extensions. That said, there's two permits. Everything was completed in compliance. I will say, just to be clear, there's going to be continuing conditions for both. The first one, which is SE 482682, will have continuing condition 20. And then 3311 will have continuing conditions 20 and 23, which will be a little redundant, but I figure we continue the pool and lighting conditions on all.
Will, could you please just read what those conditions are?
Oh, sure. Hold on. Sorry, bear with me 1 second. I'll have them in like 2 seconds, guys. All right, so the first one, first permit 2682, going to be condition 20. The pool shall not be drained or discharged into an area within the jurisdiction of the commission. And the next one, 3311. My O drive's working tonight, which is nice. And then SE 483311 will have conditions 20 through 23. So 20, the pool shall not be drained or discharged into an area within the jurisdiction of the commission. 21, the pool shall not be chemically treated between November 1st and May 1st. 22, all chemical treatments shall stop 3 weeks prior to any draining or discharging of the pool. 23, all lighting shall be directed downwards and away from the resource area.
Thank you.
Thanks for bearing with me, guys.
So we need a motion to issue 2 certificates of compliance, the first being for SE 482682 with ongoing condition 20, and the second being for SE 483311 with ongoing conditions 20, 21, 22, and 23. Would somebody like to make a motion to that effect? Thank you, Joe. Do we have a second? Thank you, Mark, for the second. By roll call vote, Mark Beal,
Aye.
Tim Brain,
Aye.
Joe Plandowski,
Aye.
Linda Williams,
Aye.
Seth Engelborg votes aye, and Mike Mizzarelli is recused. Thank you. So that will complete our certificates of compliance for tonight. That will move us into orders of condition. I believe that Will sent these out, but Will, if you could also share your screen while we go through, that would be great. We're starting, if I'm correct, with Nantucket Islands Land Bank at Maxi Pond, SE 483742.
That's correct. All right, welcome, welcome. Order permits the installation of pedestrian axeways along Maxey's Pond, I'm gonna just fix a grammar issue. Improvements to parking and stormwater facilities within the buffer zone to a bordering vegetated wetland. We had conditions 18 and 19. Is there anything else?
Any members of the commission have anything that they'd like to add here?
It's pretty straightforward.
Thank you. Joe, do you have something?
Yeah, isn't this the place that was going to get the fence?
No, it is not. It is
It's
also
not.
a land bank property, but it's a different land bank property.
Got it. Okay.
Anyone else? In that case, do we have a motion to um issue the order of conditions as drafted? Joe, thank you. Mike, thank you for the second. By roll call vote, Mark Beal,
Aye.
Tim Brain,
Aye.
Mike Miserelli,
Aye.
Joe Plandowski,
Aye.
Linda Williams,
Aye.
and Seth Engelborg votes aye. Thank you. That will move us into our next order, which is 1 South Beach Street, Nantucket Yacht Club, SE 483745. If you could just go over this with us, Will, that would be great.
Right. This order permits the addition of a second-story deck over the existing clubhouse deck footprint, as well as landscaping and utilities within land subject to coastal storm flowage. We had conditions 18 and 19. Anything else?
Do you ever put some wording into the conditions when they're working like right at the water with construction debris to? I don't even know. I'm just kind of saying it as I go, but that protects, debris, construction debris from getting into the harbor.
We
Yes, thank
definitely
you, Mike.
have,
We do have a condition for that. It's measures should be taken to prevent erosion or sedimentation into the water, I think, or something to that effect. And I think also in the past we have required daily checks of debris as well, if that's something that you'd be interested in.
Yeah, I mean, with just the wind howling and second floor deck and stuff could just easily get into the harbor. So daily site cleanups are great.
Okay, Will, if you want to write some fancy conditions for us, that would be great.
oh, yes, sir. I'm just checking one thing because I think I had something. I had something for that. I'll add what we just said, but I do have. No, that's for demolition. Never mind. All right, let's word this. Can we just say debris shall not be allowed to enter the water?
Yeah, and then we should say
Best management
best management
practice.
practices should be taken to minimize any erosion, sedimentation, or pollution from the site. And then I think Mike is asking for a second condition that says daily checks and site cleanups of the site shall be required.
Yes, thank you.
And that was daily checks.
And site cleanups.
shall be required.
shall be required. If you can just go back to 20 for a second.
Yep.
So after you say to minimize construction debris entering the water, I want to say something about how the practices should also minimize erosion or sedimentation related to that construction activity, or maybe that could be a different condition if it doesn't fit.
Yeah, let's do. Best management practices shall be observed to limit sedimentation and erosion.
Into the resource area.
I think we can just end it. It shall be required. Never mind. All right, what do we think of that?
Any other commissioners' comments, questions? Not seeing any, do we have a motion to issue this order of conditions as amended? Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Mike, for the second. By roll call vote, Mark Beal.
I am recused.
Sorry about that. Tim Brain,
Aye.
Mike Miserelli,
Aye.
Joe Plandowski,
Aye.
Linda Williams,
Aye.
Seth Engelborg votes aye with Mark Beal recused. Thank you, Mark. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Okay, and that will bring us to 2020 Flax Family Irrevocable Trust at 12 Moors End Lane, SC 483746. If you could get that up, Will, and go over that, that would be great.
So this was this order permits the installation of an in-ground pool with an inset spa and auto cover within the buffer zone to vegetated wetlands. We had condition 18 and 19. And then we had condition 20, the pool shall not be chemically treated between November 1st and May 1st. 21, all chemical treatments shall stop 3 weeks prior to any draining or discharging of the pool. 22, given the topography of the site, any pool draining that needs to take place shall be pumped by truck and disposed of properly at the sewage treatment facility or be in compliance with chapter 361 of the code of the town of Nantucket. And 23, all exterior lighting shall be directed away from the resource area and in compliance with chapter 102 of the code of the town of Nantucket.
Thank you, Will. Any questions, comments, additions from members of the commission? Seeing none, do we have a motion to issue this order of conditions as drafted? Joe, thank you for the motion. Do we have a second? Looks like Mark made a second. By roll call vote, Mark Beal,
Aye.
Tim Brain,
Aye.
Mike Miserelli,
Aye.
Joe Plandowski,
Aye.
Linda Williams,
Aye.
and Seth Engelborg votes aye. And that will move us to 90 Pocomo Road, Pocomo Point Realty Trust, SC 48. What's the file number that they ended up getting, Will, here?
3747.
3747. If you could walk us through it, that'd be great.
Go back down. All right, and I just wanted to open up something else too, just quickly. So I wasn't sure if we wanted to add anything onto this. I just have 18 and 19, but this is for the timber, sand drift fencing and planting of American beach grass. I'm figuring we might want to put some monitoring requirement of the survivorship of the beach grass. And they also, I found the older permit for sand drift fencing and stuff like that. So I don't know if we want to just copy the monitoring requirements from that permit.
Does anyone have concerns about that? Want to proceed in that direction? Want to see what it says? Maybe show us what they say, and then we can
All right,
decide to or not.
think upon it. So 20 and 21 on the old permit, a monitoring report showing erosion rates and beach dune profiles and site photographs must be submitted to the commission by May 15th for a minimum of 3 years or until COC is issued. And then 21, should the monitoring reports show an adverse impact to surrounding properties, the fencing shall be removed and the applicant shall file an amendment or new notice of intent that addresses the removal and mitigation of the project.
It wouldn't hurt to have it there, I think.
Other people's thoughts? It's fine by me personally. Yes, Joe.
I was going to ask, what was the date of that, the original order of conditions? How long
2000,
ago?
2012.
Yeah. And I will say it does
12
say
years.
sand drift fencing, so I don't know if this is the same. I'd have to dig into it more, but
Well, what's being applied for in this current permit is sand drift fencing.
yeah, right. They just didn't use the word timber in the permit, so I automatically think of the snow fence.
That being said, I think these conditions are fine, and I think we should add survivorship commission or survivorship conditions for the planting as well.
Just all right.
The miracle cut and paste.
Right? No, I just typed that fast.
Baloney.
All right, so we had condition 20, a monitoring report showing erosion rates and beach dune profiles. I just read these. And then 22, the applicant shall present a yearly report, including photographs demonstrating the condition and survivorship of the replanted area and the existing vegetated areas. Should the commission determine that additional plantings are necessary, they will be authorized based on this discussion.
Seth?
I don't really know about authorized based on the discussion. I think we should say, should the commission determine that additional plantings are necessary, the applicant will be required to file an amendment or new notice of intent to deal with that, basically.
Mr.
Fine.
Chairman, may I just on clarity?
Yes, please.
So I appreciate sort of where you're going with the plantings, but I think in this case, they weren't planning to, perfectly revegetate the entire bank. This wasn't sort of a project like the rolls that have requirements for the plantings. It was sort of to, infill some areas and try to give it a little bit of a boost and have permission from the commission to be able to put some beach grass in. So if my presentation wasn't clear on that, it's not, I don't think quite the same as mitigation plantings or where you would expect related to especially like a roll type project that you have a certain success rate or over. It was more of so the activity of supplementing, could try to help, but not to plant from the bottom to the top the entire length of this bank. So if that helps, just for clarity.
It does. Thank you, Art. And in that case, I would say that it's still good to have data and reports. So I think we should keep the first part of this condition and just take out the second sentence.
Agreed. Thank you.
Any concerns or comments about that related or by members of the commission?
One question, Seth.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, if we put, rather than an annual report, if we put a date in, she'll be submitted, I think we discussed that at some point.
Yeah, this is the big question that we've been having with commission members and staff. We've had a few different thoughts in the past. We've sometimes gone with everything needs to be submitted by December 31st, but that leads to a deluge of monitoring reports at the end of the year. So I think it is Will's intent from a ease of work perspective from the staff to have monitoring reports be submitted by the date of the issuance of the permit. But Will, is that correct?
That's the idea that I am leaning towards. I do just want to mention, I was actually going to bring this up in staff comment later. There's a Concom Agents Network meeting next week, and I was going to ask for any hot tips on that subject, because before I commit to something, I want to know if anybody's using a system that works well.
Okay. I think in that case, we can just leave it as yearly report at this point and then stay tuned as in future permits. We might be a little bit more specific. Anything else from members of the commission? If not, do we have a motion to issue the order of conditions as amended? Thank you, Mike. Do we have a second? Thank you, Joe. By roll call vote. Mark Beal,
Aye.
Tim Brain,
Aye.
Mike Mizzarelli,
Aye.
Joe Plandowski,
Aye.
Linda Williams,
Aye.
and Seth Engelborg, aye. Thank you, Will. All right, that concludes orders of condition, and that will bring us to extension of order. We have two tonight. The first is 04 TST 36 Washington Pond LLC at 36 Washington Pond Road, SE 48 3425. Art Gasparo is listed as the representative for this. Art, are you taking this?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This project is just a very large project, and it's been under construction for some time, and they're actively working on it, and I believe in compliance with all requirements of the order. And we just want to make sure that the permit is valid during the remainder of the activity period. So we've asked for a 1-year extension.
Thank you, Art. Would somebody like to make or is there any questions related to that? Would somebody like to make a motion to issue the 1-year extension? Thank you, Tim. And thank you, Joe, for the second by roll call vote. Mark Beal,
Aye.
Tim Brain,
Aye.
Mike Mizzarelli,
Aye.
Joe Plandowski,
Aye.
Linda Williams,
Aye.
and Seth Engelborg votes aye. Thank you.
Does Mike get 2 votes?
Mike is
I don't
on
know
here
what happened.
twice.
My computer came up and said I was out of the meeting. I guess I'm in twice somehow.
Yeah,
It's
one
quite
of your
strange.
one is just audio, one's just video. So I guess we'll just deal with it for now. But
All right.
Twins.
that will bring us into our next extension of order, which is Island Harbor Farm LLC at 9 Salem Street, SE 48 3435, represented by Paul Santos.
Thank you, Paul Santos, on behalf of the applicant Island Harbor Farm LLC, care of New England Development. This is a request to extend the order of conditions specifically for the tank farm property located downtown. This order of conditions was issued to the prior owner, Winthrop Nantucket Nominee Trust. Property has since changed hands. So on behalf of the current owner, we're asking for the 3-year extension. This was a notice of intent removal of the tanks, removal of utilities, temporary disturbance of the concrete dike wall that surrounds the property. And to this point, the majority of the work has been completed, but there is some ongoing issues that we are dealing with and on the property, both under the current permit and then moving forward. So we respectfully ask for a 3-year extension based on the nature of this property and the amount of work that's involved with it to the current order of conditions.
Thank you, Paul. Do any members of the commission have questions or comments? Seeing as none, can I have a motion to issue the 3-year extension to this order? Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Tim, for the second. By roll call vote, Mark Beal,
Aye.
Tim Brain,
Aye.
Mike Mizzarelli,
Aye.
Joe Pendowski,
Aye.
Linda Williams,
Aye.
and Seth Engelborg votes aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
That will bring us to other business. The first piece of other business is approval of minutes. I don't know if we have any minutes for this meeting. Do we have any minutes, Will?
I do not believe so.
Okay, that's
Good to
fine.
know.
We'll move on to monitoring reports. Do we have any monitoring reports that came in?
Got one monitoring report for Pest House Pond. If anybody has any specific questions, feel free to ask. In the report, it was stated that they're intending to file an extension by July before their permit runs out, to continue dealing with widgeon grass and doing algicide treatments.
Thank you. If you have any questions related to that, you can talk to Will and he'll be in touch with the permit holder. And that will move us to enforcement actions, potential enforcement actions. Will, do we have anything to discuss?
Nothing new on the docket tonight.
Okay, great. That will move us to reports. Crack. Update from Tim.
Nothing new.
Okay. And let's see what's next. CPC, Mark.
Nothing new.
NPNEDC is me. We are still going through the process of updating the potential new membership structure at NPNEDC, but nothing has been committed to yet. But all the signs are pointing towards the Conservation Commission retaining a seat. And I'll obviously keep you guys posted as we finalize that, or it will need to go to the state for a legislative change. So we'll be in touch when that happens. And harbor plan, Linda.
Still slogging through the sections. Seth, you
Yes,
were
we are.
there.
Yeah,
So
we are.
we're just slogging along here. There has it, what will be on the next one separate is a discussion of creating an eelgrass subgroup, because that seems to be one of the most critical issues. So that's coming back on the agenda as a separate item next week or 2 weeks from now.
Thank you. Offshore wind work group, Joe.
Nothing.
All right. That will move us
That
into
group doesn't meet.
All right. In June, I know we were asked to assign a representative to this, but in June or in July when we need to reassign, we can confirm with them as to whether that's still warranted or not.
Will do.
And that will move us to commissioner's comment. Any commissioner's comment? I have one comment, and I know we have busy meetings, Will, but we do need to desperately get the discussion of the town meeting articles that I talked with you about onto hopefully the next agenda, so that we can have a vote of this commission prior to town meeting to discuss the potential disbursement of the lands held in joint ownership by the Conservation Commission.
Question, Seth?
Yes.
On that topic, I would suggest that we do as we did this week, that that topic be put number 2 on the agenda after number one, the regulations. That way we don't get all tired and grumpy and then say we'll do it later.
That's fine. Will, is that okay?
I think that's just dandy.
Everyone knows I love talking about the lands, land stewardship and natural resources side of the Concom, the part that gets sometimes a little bit disregarded as get preferences given to wetland permitting, but it's a favorite topic of mine, so I don't mind talking about it first.
Can I just clarify?
Yes, please.
Do we want to set that as like a general scheduling discussion for the 21st when we're also going to be doing wetlands, or do we want to have it listed as a full discussion topic?
At another time than that meeting.
So we can certainly have it at another time than that meeting. My personal assumption is it's not a very controversial subject and it probably won't take that long. The articles presented at town meeting that were put forward by the select board essentially are asking to transfer land that is held by the town and then jointly held by the Conservation Commission away from the town to go to the land bank, which is something that I personally support because they have a lot more capacity to do stewardship and maintenance of those properties. But I am a little bit concerned that the articles went through without kind of our consent. Even if the town of Nantucket is the property owner, our name is listed on the deed. So ideally, this would have happened prior to the warrant even being created. But at this point, we either need to just make a vote to really accept those warrant articles or to take further action as to what we're going to do next. So thank you. Yes, Will.
All right. Based on what you just said, I think if this is a cool idea, I think we should put it on the agenda for the 21st because there's no guarantee that the wetlands are going to go away before town meeting. You know what I mean? We might still be discussing the wetlands regs. I hope not, but there's no guarantee that that'll be off the agenda. So let's get it done.
Okay, thank you. Any other commissioners' comments? Yes, Mark.
I share your concern, Seth, that it's very strange that selectmen didn't see fit to just give us a heads up on a meeting where it will be discussed for either the chairman's input or the whole commission's input. I think it's pretty presumptuous on their part, but thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I don't want to assume anything, but I did talk to Jeff about this, and this type of action has happened in the past. The Conservation Commission has transferred lands to other entities. In all those discussions, there was some, or all those actions, there was some discussion at the Conservation Commission prior to those actions taking place. So we do need to have this discussion. Thank you. Any other commissioners' comments? Okay. Any staff or administrator comments?
Very, very quickly. Great job, Seth. Good meeting everybody, and no details to share yet, but I am getting a little bit closer to finding real housing on island. So
Good luck with that.
good stuff.
Thank you.
We hate to sound so positive.
I know.
Well.
Come on, everybody. Round of applause. No, I'm just kidding.
Thank you for that. With that being said, we are at the end of our agenda. So I'll take a motion to adjourn. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Joe, for the second. By roll call vote, Mark Beal.
Well done, Seth. Aye.
Thank you. Tim Brain.
Aye.
Mike Mazzarelli.
Aye. Thank you, Seth.
Joe Plandowski.
Aye.
Linda Williams.
Good meeting, Mr. Chairman. Aye.
Thank you. And Seth Engelberg votes aye. Nice meeting everybody and have a good night.
Hour and
Joe.
20 minutes, a record.
No, it's not. No, it's
not
not.
quite. Not
It's
quite.
my
but
record.
It was good.
It was a
Mark,
good
good.
meeting.
45-minute meeting one time.
Yeah.
45 minutes. And it's like, oh my God, don't get used to it.
Yeah.
I'll take an hour and 20 whenever we can get it.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
Have a
with
good
you,
night.
Mike.
Have
Let's
a good
not
night,
make it any
everybody.
longer. Let's adjourn this
All right.
thing.
Bye.